I like Bruce because Bruce has got a lot of wisdom inside of him. He had a lot of wisdom. And he's not just talking about the martial arts. He's talking about life in general. But if we go with the martial arts, I mean, I did a lot of martial arts in my younger days. But the more complicated the system was, the more ineffective it was in the street, right? And that's the same thing. Oh, Mike should know that. Mike being an ex-cop, right? The most basic holds, really, the most basic tackles could take somebody down, and all of a sudden, all their punching and kicking becomes ineffective. And it's the same thing with like a lot of the self-help stuff that we're learning nowadays. Is everybody's climbing stuff on top of other stuff, on top of other stuff, on top of other stuff. It just goes on and on and on and on, and they're making it more complicated. And instead of making it more intuitive art, they've now made it a more thinking art, right? And they've moved away from their intuition. And now it's about trying to use a technique to manipulate the emotion, right? And that's not what we want to do. Just real quickly, I want to talk about how some models of therapy out there say don't want to bring them back to the feelings that they had when they were traumatized. Okay, and the reason they're saying that is because they don't know how to deal with the feelings that come up in their sessions, because they're so busy trying to manipulate the emotion of the feeling so that the client feels better. When in all honesty, remember, all feelings are generally short-lived unless there's a resistance to that feeling. It's the resistance that actually keeps it alive. Right? Our bodies, right? Our bodies are meant to first of all, it'll stuff things down because we have to get through certain things. But it's internally we have this gauge to push things up to the surface so that we can release them. Because remember, your body doesn't want to hold on to it. And really, by the time that you pass away, and by the time you die, your body is hoping that you will have cleared most of the junk that you've retained inside of your life so you can transition peacefully. Right? Oh, I got Randy way in the bottom. Let me move you up. There we go. Really, I mean...
What you just said, I talked about my 89-year-old client Barbara for the last 2 classes. That's her goal, to be completely clear by the time she passes away. Exactly.
Right? And I was talking to Ann, my wife. She worked a lot with hospice. And she said the ones that really had a hard time passing were the ones that were still harboring a lot of their emotions and feelings towards certain people. Right? The ones that let go, they're the ones who actually moved out and transitioned peacefully. It's so important. That's we should really focus on. And it's actually, I want to talk about this more. It's not about accumulating. Our life shouldn't be about accumulating. The goal shouldn't be about accumulating. Primary goal. It's really, as we get older, we're stripping away all the stuff that we've accumulated through the years in our thoughts, in our feelings, in our emotions, maybe even stuff we've accumulated outside. And once we can strip it down to its basic essence, then we'll find out who we really are. Then you'll have a better option to decide whether that thing that you want, that material thing that you want, you actually want. Right, instead of something that you just accumulate, right? But then we'll be better positioned to decide. Otherwise, if we just decide, I want to get that thing, right? It's actually just distracting us from our intuition and our spirit. Okay, so there's Bruce for you. There's Murphy, my dog. I just had to throw him in. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the basics of the perfect affirmation. I know that you guys got it. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly because I know that most of you guys got it. And those of you that don't have it, that are watching this, get it. But here's the real quick breakdown. Okay, so the reasons I came up with the perfect affirmation, one, is because everybody seems to borrow somebody else's affirmation. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Right? I tried that affirmation. In my mind, I kept saying, how the hell am I going to get better every day in every way? I just don't get it. Right? My subconscious mind kept kicking that out. It's like, oh my God, it put so much pressure on me. Right? And then, like, if one day went by and I go, I didn't get any better today, what the hell, you know? So I wanted to make the affirmation unique to each individual. And many affirmations also try and go too far. And they try and go too far because they haven't come back into their intuition, their spirit yet. So remember, it's about stripping it down, stripping everything down, so we become literally naked, right? On a what's the word? Help me out, guys. What's the word I'm looking for? Can you guys hear me? Am I coming through? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Metaphoric, in a metaphoric sense, we want to be naked right? The more naked we become, the more vulnerable we become, the more we actually touch our intuition, the more we care less about what the outside world says or does about our lives, right? The more we can do that, then again, like I said earlier, the more we have options. Then we start seeing everything that's actually there waiting for us versus this microscope thing, looking at things from a microscope. It actually widens. We widen our scope if we can strip everything down.